अरे सोहेल,
Yes.
अरे I want to know, bro, is this Azure certification that's required क्या by most of the jobs?
No, it's not mandatory, but it's good to have because sometimes clients demand that I want only certified people. When clients demand
अच्छा
HR and recruiter, they will put a screening filter that I want to see resumes only with only certified resumes.
अच्छा अच्छा.
Other than
So
that,
you need
कोई
AZ
खास
900. अच्छा अच्छा. So you need AZ 900 and AZ 104, right, for this?
हाँ 104 is enough. If you already have 900, that is also fine.
अच्छा
AZ 104 it's fine.
अच्छा. And how much does that exam cost? Any idea?
Voucher or exam? Voucher cost, I
No,
think voucher cost is
what's the
4,600.
अच्छा, what's the difference though? That voucher will be for the exam only, no?
Ah, sorry, that's what I meant. I meant training you were talking what I thought.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. तो 4,000 का आता है and you get one attempt in that, ना?
Right. But most of the companies they do sponsor. I'm not sure if about ICE you can check once.
ICE क्या? ICE तो I don't think will sponsor because they don't have anything for Azure, ना?
Still you can check
अभी
even if they don't have. Sometimes
अच्छा
they do sponsor. You can check, and it's not that mandatory. If you have AZ900, that's fine. If you are not getting calls and if you are think some HR says that okay, we need only certified people, then you can do it. It's
हम्म,
hardly a matter of one day that okay, I'll get it, I'll get the certification done, and you can align my interview, or you can interview me as soon as you release the offer before joining. I'll get the certification. You can negotiate some like that.
अच्छा अच्छा. अभी I'm just waiting यार these 2-3 weeks में then I'll क्या बोलते हैं उसको फिर वापस I'll revise everything and then I'll start applying also then.
I think we can do it for you and Amit. I think Amit has
हम्म,
done the studies also. So once we are done with these
हाँ
migration topics, we'll start the interview sessions. I mean, interview
हाँ हाँ.
preparation sessions. And once that is done, you guys can start interviewing. In fact, that can happen simultaneously. You don't
अच्छा
have to wait for interview session to over. We can start interview sessions also, and you can start giving interviews also.
चलेगा चलेगा. तो अभी how many sessions do you think would require for migrate? Just asking. अमित
Uh,
join किया क्या?
हाँ, Amit
But
has
that's
joined.
okay. We can continue with the topic
No,
also then.
that's fine. That's
That's
fine.
okay.
Now this is third session, right? Oh, this is second
हाँ
session.
second
Maybe
second हाँ.
three more. And one of them, I think
अच्छा
we will have to do offline. I told you guys, if you are not understanding
हाँ
it, maybe one of the sessions, 1 or 2 sessions, we'll do offline. I'll coordinate with others also when it is
चलेगा
offline
चलेगा.
session. Hmm.
हाँ.
And if you understand it well, then that's fine. Okay.
Okay okay
Hmm.
cool.
So coming back to the topic here, uh, so we're talking about the actual migration. Okay, when actual migration happens, your machine test migration, your on-prem machine is not going to shut down. Okay, a replica will be here, a machine will be created, you can test it, everything is working fine, you can delete it, discard it. That's it. It is done, your machine is still running, there's no downtime. But when it comes to actual migration, this machine will be shut down, a new machine will be up here. You'll have to do some settings, DNS, repointing and everything that I will teach you in interview sessions, because it's not only migration, there are pre and post migration steps also. Okay, so I'll explain it to you how to explain it in your interview, the whole process. But on portal, this is what you do. Once the migration is done, then you are done with this one. Okay, now mostly what they ask, okay, you have done so many migrations, have you faced any issues? uh, what kind of issues have you faced? What did you do? So some ports issues you can mention that we require these ports are needed for migration, and some of the time we see ports are not open, और यहाँ पर कुछ migrations की ये दिए हुए हैं. And then I'll give you the list that what are, in fact it is there. Wait, let me see. How did you decide to assess and when to migrate? That's fine. How many assessment have you done? That is a different. How did you decide to whether to rehost, re-architect? We'll read this one. Uh, database, that's fine. Pre-migration, we'll go through this once. This is your storyline. This is very important. We'll go through this once. Lift and shift is fine. Here it is. Okay, so they will ask you, okay, if you have done so many migrations, what are the issues that you face? So these are the issues you can talk about. That my machine was not discovering, or maybe it was not migrating, something like that. And you can mention there was an issue with port. Which ports? The list is over there at the last here. These are the ports. Quote 1 or 2 ports out of them. You can talk about firewall settings. So we had to check the firewall setting again. And with that, mention these 3 services. These are very effective. If you mention these in your answer, they will think, okay, you have really worked. Okay, these are strictly to Windows. We do the Linux migration also, but it's okay. In interview, you don't have to explain everything. They're asking you something, you answer which is easier for you. So on machine which are not replicating or which are not discovering, let's say in discovery session, I say, I know there are 5 machines in that subnet. I'm sure, but I see only 4 here in your discovery report or your assessment report. Why so? So these are the troubleshooting steps you can do. You can go to that machine and check if these services are there. If these services are there, are they running? If not, start them. If they are in stop condition, if they are running, restart them. And most of the time that solves the issue. Okay. Any doubt, guys, here?
No.
Okay. Now coming back to this one, the one which I was showing you, database migration. Okay, this one will finish today, and from next session we can start focusing on server. See, now I gave you a gist of it, an idea of it. Next session we'll do the practical for this maybe, and then again there is more theory, or we'll do the theory and practical at the last. However it suits you, we'll decide that next week, depending on the understanding and your questions. We'll do that. Okay. Now transfer of data. Okay. See, virtual machines are fine. These virtual machines are fine. Okay, let's say these are my 3-tier applications. On this virtual machine, it's only operating system disk. It's only operating system disk, only OS disk. My actual data is somewhere here. My database could be SQL or anything, or storage box, and it could be anything. That I have to get separately on Azure, right? So how to do that? Now there are some options. One is you can do online, the one which we saw here, using that tool, data migration tool and data migration assessment that you can do. That is over the internet, but there is a limitation to that, right? Do we have Kumail here? Yeah, Kumail is there, I guess. Right? So okay, there is some limitation, guys, on internet. When you go to live environment, the data amount is huge, maybe terabyte or petabyte or zettabyte also sometimes. That is not possible to get over the internet. You will spend months and years and your data will not be here completely. So it's not a feasible option. Okay, small data it's fine. 1 GB, 2 GB, 10 GB, that's fine. 40 GB till 40 GB, it's okay. So what if you have that huge data, a large amount of data? Then what will you do? You will use this option called data box. Get started with data box. Now what is the data box? I'll explain it here. First thing, you will select the subscription where you want to move this data. Then the resource group, where do you want to keep this data, under which resource group? Okay. Then region. Now which region is, what do you think, which region are we talking about here, where I want to host my data? Is that what you think? What is your guess?
The region for the resource group.
No, I've already selected. See, I've selected Kumail's resource group, which means Kumail resource group is already there. And while creating that resource group, while creating the resource group, I have selected a region, so I don't have to select the region again. Plus, look at the regions. Is it Azure regions? Do they look like Azure regions? The naming convention.
No, no, no.
Right? So this is the region from your data is coming. If your data is in Australia, is it in Austria? Is it in Belgium, Brazil? Where is it? For this one, we'll take India because it's very mandatory and must to give correct location. Based on this, the speed of data transfer will vary and it will depend on this one. Plus the resource group, if your data is coming from India, doesn't make any sense to move it to a US region. Okay, by the way, resource group doesn't your resource group, it has a region, but it is just a logical boundary. If Kumail is in East US, the resource group Kumail, it is in East US, my data is coming from India. Does it mean that data from India is going to East US? Is it correct statement, guys? If I say this, only look based on these three information. Okay, subscription is UT-Kloud. My resource group is Kumail. Kumail resource group is based in East US region. My data is coming from India. Source region is India. Is data will be moved to East US.
It's correct, right? Because we'll be
No, it's not
getting the
correct.
data.
That's okay. That's
Okay.
sorry to interrupt you, Amit, but we have less time. So I have told you guys, right? Don't mind about interrupting you because we have less time and I want to cover portions. So correct, incorrect, that doesn't matter. I always encourage you give answers, even if I'm interrupting, that is fine. And you can also interrupt me if I'm explaining something again and again. If you think you have already understood, it's my habit that I speak on a topic for 2 to 3 times, so it gets drilled in your head. But if you think something you have already understood and you don't want me to repeat, say it. Don't hesitate at all. Okay. So no, Amit, Kumail resource group is in East US. That is just a logical boundary. My data is coming from India. That is fine. But where is it going? Where, by the way, where do we save data? Which service do we use to save data?
Storage account.
Storage. So that I have to decide where do I create. Kumail is in East US, the resource group. Does it mean I can have all storage account only in East US? If I go to a resource group named Kumail and I want to have storage account, is it necessary to have all of them under East US just because Kumail's resource group is in East US?
No.
No, right? So this is just a logical boundary. So here you will select the data. Now my data is coming from India, and if I select East US, doesn't make sense. It is technically correct, but doesn't make sense. If my data is coming from India, then which is the sensible thing to do? Select India. In India also, where is it coming from? Is it in Mumbai? Then I'll go for, okay, Central India is fine. But if it is in Bangalore, I'll go for South India. Are you getting the point? I hope you are getting the idea behind it, right? Okay, then you apply. Now these are the options you have, guys. Okay, data box disk. What is it? If you have a data of 35 TB, up to 35 TB, you are supposed to use, or you are suggested to use, you can say, or maybe you can it is recommended. Nothing is compulsion here. It is recommended for you to use data box disk. Now what is a data box disk? I won't be able to show it to you any practical except this one. Okay. Because these are physical boxes. Now when you say data box disk here, you will have to select this, and our subscription doesn't even support this, so we can't take the next step, but it is fine. We get enough information from here to explain yourself in interview. What happens here, once you do this, your subscription is there, right? With Azure, they have your billing address and everything. So the moment you select this option, they will send you up to 5 disk in at one order. Up to 5 disk they will send. Each disk's capacity will be here you'll have to check what is the capacity. Not sure, maybe not here. I'll share the page, I'll share the link, it is there. Okay, I guess 8 TB, here it is, right? 8 TB your disk, and this is how it will look. Once you order it, this is how it will look. Okay, this is how it will look. This is the data disk, guys, Azure data disk. Okay, so once you order that, on your data center's address, they will send the disk to you. You order this, they will, based on your requirement, they will send 5 disks, 4 disks, 3 disks, whatever you're asking. Okay. You'll have to connect those disks physically to your laptops or to your servers and copy the data manually. Clear till here?
Yes.
What it supports USB 3.1 SATA interface. You don't have to, it's okay if you don't understand all this. If you want to know, it's good to know information, not need to know. If you want to know, go ahead and search what is SATA, what are other options do we have, but you don't need to know that. Something you need to know is this one, that using this option, you can only have Azure blobs, you can have Azure file, you can have managed disk. Which option is missing from here? What else do we have in storage? Yes, under storage, what kind of accounts do we have,
Disk.
guys? It's okay if you don't remember, but go ahead and check that once. Okay, but here you will have to say, and it's okay, sometimes data pe itna पूछते भी नहीं है, but for your information, this picture is a part of our OneNote, I guess, and if it is not there, I will paste it. It has to be there though.
File share was not listed, right?
Yes, file share was there, I guess. Wait, let me check.
Okay.
Okay, experience and scenarios, guys. This one we also have to cover. This is very important. Okay, you know everything, you know technical, and the moment they ask, okay, what is the size of your team, what is the environment you have, what are the tools you use, and you are blank, and they understand it very well. कि आप सब रट के आए हो. So we'll do that also. Okay, maybe it's not here, I'll paste it then. It is somewhere, but not in this page, so I'll get it on this page. It will be easier for all of you to read it. Okay. Sorry. Right. And why I didn't do that, I remember it now. Why I didn't do that? Because it keeps changing. Things, they keep changing. By the way, file share is there, Amit. Q is not here. Okay, Q is not here, but that's okay. You don't have to, even if you don't remember it, that's fine. One thing to remember is it's only supports storage Gen 2 accounts. There are 2 gens in storage account, Gen 1 and Gen 2. So we have practiced everything on Gen 2. Gen 1 is very legacy, we don't do that, but still it doesn't support Gen 1. Okay. Copy data to one storage account. Now, what is the limitation? That you can have only one storage account. If you're selecting this under Komel's resource and resource group, you can have only one storage account. I hope you're getting the limitations, guys. And maybe I have 10 different 10 different departments. Combining all my data is not crossing 35 TB. It's only 30 TB. Hence, I think this is useful for me. But what Azure is saying that if you take this one, we are going to send this disk to you. You copy your data to that, and we will take that disk back. Either we will have to send it to them or they do it. Okay, however it works, that is fine. That is not your hectic. Logistics team takes care of that. So once the data is with Azure, they have all your details. कि ये किसके subscription की है, कहाँ पर है. They will have the details also कि किस storage account में जाना है. But how many storage account? This all 30 TB will be placed in only one storage account. But you are saying नहीं यार, ये मेरा 10 department का data है. I want you to keep it in 10 different accounts. That is not possible. You copy it in one account and then you do it yourself. That is possible. Okay. Once it is in storage account, but what is the catch here, guys? Once you copy the data in one storage account, and even if you move it internally, you will be charged for data transfer. By the way, one thing, there is no charge for incoming data. This 35 TB, which Azure is copying from you and pasting it in their in their storage account for you, there are no charges for copying. Okay, sending disk and everything, that is a different thing. Copying 35 TB or 30 TB, it's free for you. In fact, even this one also, it is free for you. But if you want to move from one account to another account, moving internally, it is chargeable. Okay, pricing page you can refer here. Any questions, guys? Is it clear to
No.
you? See,
Yes.
order processing fees, 1 unit, $50. daily disk usage fee per disk per day $10. I mean ऐसा नहीं कि आने के बाद आप उसको साल भर रख लोगे आपके पास, right? उसके बाद आपका प्राइस भी बढ़ता रहेगा. And shipping price is $30. So approximately $90 you are paying here, and it could vary from region to region. See, prices, these are changing. You see, taxes and everything, and the policies will appear, and prices, they will change. But this is how it looks like. Clear? So this disk will come to you to your data center. You will copy this. This is how it looks. You will copy your data and everything. You will send it back. Azure will get it. They will copy it in one storage account which you have identified at the time of requesting. So that is one way of your data migration. What was the first way we saw? It is online over the internet or express route. But that is limited, guys. Even express route has some limitations, right? 35 TB is too much. So this you can use. Another one. Now you have more than 35 TB. Then what? You have data disk. Now all concepts are same, guys. So I won't be explaining again and again. Only the changes or the differences we'll be discussing them. Next thing is we have is data box. Why are we seeing this preview? What do you mean by preview, by the way? Anyone knows? What does it mean, preview? Preview means this feature is under testing. So for India region, it was not there. In my previous batch, if you check, we tried it for India region, it wasn't there. We had to check with East US region. Now for India region, it's available, but it is under preview. So it will take some time. Okay. Now talking about data box. Data box, all similar concept. Only thing is that the capacity is 80 TB. Okay. And they will copy the data in 10 storage account. And the speed of the copying, you see, it supports RJ45, it supports 10 Gbps, it supports SPF interface, and the pricing you can see here. I'm going a bit fast now because I have explained the details in the first one. It's all same, only parameters are same, only the values are being changed. So if you see, service fee is $250, 10 days included. After these 10 days, if you keep the disk with you, you will be charged $15 for 1 day. And the packaging is $113. In this 113, I guess sending and receiving both are covered. You don't have to worry about it. Is it clear, guys?
But it won't be our job, right? Basically,
No,
or
it's
will
not.
be
Sending, receiving, it's not your job. Even creating is not your job. I mean, you won't even get it. But you should know.
Okay.
That is the reason I told you कि ये ज़्यादा पूछा नहीं जाएगा, but you should know it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is data box. This is how it looks. You should know it. When you speak, you should have that confidence. कि हाँ ऐसा हुआ था. And this is how you can. This is data box. This is data box disk for 8 TB, 35 up to 35 TB. This is supported, or 40 TB. For India, I guess it is for 35 TB. This is data box, the one which we are talking about. Okay, 80 TB. And then there is data box heavy. This is for 800 TB. It's extremely heavy thing, extremely costly, and it's not available for India. In fact, it's available only in limited Europe and US. You see, I will see how it looks. Here it is. Can you see, guys? Data box heavy. मतलब आता भी होगा ये कार्गो प्लेन वगैरह में आता होगा इस तरह का ये, और मे बी कोई ह्यूज ट्रक वगैरह में. It looks smaller in the picture, but it's a very huge thing. Similar thing, same pricing model, only few things are extra. 20 days you can keep it for. Supports Gen 2. Everything is same for all three variant. It copies for 10 storage account. This one also copies for 10 storage account. Data copying here, it's fast. You can use the data dump methods here. If you don't know what is data dumping, it's fine, but it is a faster way of copying the address. You go for pricing range, I'm sure it will be more costlier than the previous one. Yes, it is. 4,000 rupees, $4,000 they are charging you for service fee. 1 day you keep, in 20 days you get. 1 day you keep extra, you charge $100 per day. And the shipping charges are $1,700. It's too costly. But look at the support also. It is supporting 800 TB of data. It's too much, guys. and rest is simple. This one up to 1 TB, it's send up to per disk. This is very simple. You can create a job. See, India. Okay, storage account. See, it is asking me to select storage account. If I select this one, the data box, I will get 10 storage accounts here to select. I mean, I'll get options to select 10 storage account, or I'll have to create 10 accounts. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Prepare your disk drives and generate the journal files using. This is a tool. This is a tool through which you can you'll have to extract some information on your disk and upload that file here. As of now, it's okay. We don't have to do that. I'm not sure if it will select the, okay, it selects only XML format. Okay. Let me create one for you. I'll create one XML file. It will be easier to, at least you will see the screen that how it looks. Though it's a blank file, guys. Okay. Encryption settings you can select from here. If you want your data to be encrypted, if you do this, you will have to select a key vault and key, and no one will be able to read your data. You can do that. Here you can use the carrier, UPS, DHL, FedEx. See, similar thing will happen for that. Create a carrier account number. Now we don't have it. Putting some dummy details. Address. See, we'll give your data center address here. You'll give your email address, tags, and then you can order it. Once it is ordered, you will get it. Okay, but we don't need it now. This one is fine. But if you see the charges, 5,764, it will be charged to your account directly. Okay, guys, is it clear to you now? What is it? What is data box? How do we do? What are the methods to migrate databases? One is online, one is the express route. This is, then there are disk, and these are the options in disk. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll stop today's session here, guys. I don't want you to I don't want you guys to get confused between data and server migration. It's done. We are done with the data migration. We are not doing any practical for data migration. We are not doing anything for data migration. It won't be asked much. As far as you know this, one more method is there, guys, for data migration. What is that? We have done that. We did that while doing the migration. While doing the storage. So which tool is that? I showed you one tool. I asked you to install it also, if you remember.
This what we call easy copy. No. Okay.
Yes, AZ
Storage
copy is the
Explorer.
method. Correct. AZ copy is a method that can be done using uh, Azure Storage Explorer. Okay, here it is. This is also a sort of data migration. So what I can do here, I can see my okay, here I can see my subscription. I can see my storage account. I simply can copy something, see ISO files. Okay, I want to, let's say I want to have some ISO file here. I want to copy it from my machine, some ISO file I have to copy from here. So I can simply just copy from my local machine to here, and that's all. That is also a migration. Is it clear?
Mhm.
So you can say that data migration, if it is a very small chunk, very small data, we can do using Microsoft Azure Explorer. We can do using VPN connectivity. We can do using Azure Express Route connectivity. And if it is an SQL database and very small database, what we can do, we can directly go to that SQL instance, select the database, right click on task, and you do get an option to select database to Azure. You do get an option that. And then if there are heavy datas, then we have this data box wala concept, the one which we discussed now. So you can talk about this. Then we have data box. If accordingly whatever our requirement is, we'll request a disk. Those disks will come, we'll copy the data, we'll send it. Azure will copy it in your designated storage account. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So next time we'll start either with theory or next week with server migration. Let's see how it goes. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, let me know.
Sure.
Okay, we'll stop the session for today. We have still 8 minutes. If you have any questions related to this, do not bring the server migration. I don't want any confusion. I'm keeping the recordings also separately. So whenever you have confusion with data migration, you can refer this recording. Server migration, you can refer other recordings. So if you have any questions for today's session or any other interview or anything related, you can ask other than server migration questions.
Okay.
So do you have any question, Samitra?
So while one question which I like migration के other time ऐसा कुछ scenario आता है जिसमें means after a point in time we get to know that सब कुछ खराब हो गया and we to restart.
हाँ, बहुत बार आएगा. बहुत बार आएगा. That is the reason we have test migration. Na?
अच्छा.
And see, the test migration is a different thing. When we say migration, let's say that I have workloads. I have here. This is my complete infrastructure. Okay, 1, 2, 3. How many are these? 4, 4, 8, and 9. This is my complete infrastructure. This is my company. But that does not mean all 9 servers are production servers. In this, I may have 2 test servers, 3 development servers, and 4 production server. Okay, so the test migration which we are looking at, that we will do on the test servers only. Test servers, test migration. Test servers, actual migration. Development servers, test migration, then actual migration. Then it comes to production server. So by the time you come to your prod servers, actually you have learned enough. You have done the migration of your test servers. Test servers are also not directly. Test servers का भी हम पहले test migration करते हैं एक server का. Then we migrate those servers. We use them for a long time. Then we go ahead with development servers, stage servers, and then we go ahead with your production servers.
So after test migration, real time basis पे check कैसे करते हैं? Users तो होते नहीं होंगे. We
Why not?
ourselves
No,
log
no,
in
no,
and
no,
check.
no, you don't. It's we will discuss that. Don't worry. मैं पूरा scenario आप लोगों को अच्छे से explain करूंगा. It's not a work of one team or 2 people. No, that's not the way. You will have a change request book, CR. It will be decided that okay, next Sunday of December or maybe second Sunday of December we are planning to do the migration. How many servers? 300 servers. Okay, who's the cab manager? Change authority board is there. Who's authorizing this change? He's authorizing. What is the plan? You have to explain the plan thoroughly. Whatever architecture team has given you, you have to explain it thoroughly. If any, and on that call, all relevant people will be there. Networking people, Windows people, Linux people, security, everyone will be there. And the most important, your application owner, whoever has owns that application, that server, the owner will be there. They will have their question. Okay, how much time are you going to take this one? Okay, fine. What is the rollback plan? You never go with a change without a rollback plan. They will ask you, okay, if something goes wrong, what rollback plan do you have? So at on-prem also, you will take the backup and everything before you do the cutover. You will do the backup and everything. So if something goes wrong, you can immediately start these servers and at least postpone it later. We'll do it later, but your business is up and running. You will have that. You will have then you will ask them that who's available for testing. Then it's application owners work to give someone for testing. The people who actually use that application, 1 or 2 people from there, they will be available. Once you're done with your migration, you have taken a window of 6 hours. It won't take literally 6 hours. I'm just giving example. Okay, sometimes you take for 2 days or 1 day also. Okay, so it won't literally take 6 hours to migrate, because replication has been done already. We are not talking about replication here, guys. Okay, understand? Replication might take hours or maybe days, but replication has been done. It is just about switching it from this server to that server. So that cutover, when it happens, it may take hour or 2 hours, more, not more than that. Once that is done, you will send an email that okay, this has been done, DNS repointing has been done, everything has been done. Could someone please test the application? You will not do that. So it's application team's job. They will check their functionality and everything, whatever they want to check, and then they will send a reply. Okay, this has been done. And still you will not delete your on-prem server. That will be there as it is. So it's a long process. We'll discuss that. Don't worry. Yes. Any other question?
No, that's it.
Fine, then we are good to close today's session. See you next weekend.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.